I would like now to give the floor to Dr. Maria Lykidi, who is a Senior Research Fellow at our institute, at the Hellenic Energy Regulation Institute, a very capable person and scientist. Not a lawyer, but no one is perfect. Okay,
Thank you very
and
much for the invitation.
she's also responsible of compliance and operational risk management unit at the Hellenic Energy Exchange. And I take also this opportunity to thank the HENEX because they also support this scientific initiative, and I would like to thank them for that. Maria, you have the floor.
Yes, thank you very much. We thank you also for the invitation and for the participation in the conference. So today we will speak about the nuclear and how the development of advanced technologies like SMRs can contribute to the energy transition. So we will start by presenting the general challenges in achieving the energy transition within the time frame of 2050. So there are several factors that need to be considered in the transition towards the renewables. Some main factors are the following. The investments in renewable energy infrastructure and energy storage to ensure a stable and consistent energy supply, the technology innovation and research and development for the deployment of new technologies to support energy transition, the energy efficiency measures to reduce consumption of energy resources, the policy support and the regulatory frameworks to facilitate the energy transition, the global cooperation and collective action to deal with challenges including technological, environmental, economic and geopolitical issues and make transition just and sustainable, the societal challenges regarding job displacements and reskilling resulting from shifting from reliance on fossil fuels to renewable and cleaner energy sources, and finally, in view of renewable intermittency, the integration of a high number of renewables in the energy mix, which requires important adjustments in energy and distribution system management in order to balance supply and demand. So here we presented a little bit the main challenges regarding the energy transition. So now we will focus on the nuclear power technology as an energy technology. So we will provide some main features of this technology. So nuclear power is characterized by its high fixed cost and low variable cost. It's a technology with zero carbon emissions and produces long life, highly radioactive waste. It mainly provides baseload operations. So it's a technology that we call early in order to cover the demand. The nuclear fuel is an extremely dense fuel, as we can see that one uranium pellet is equal to 1 ton of coal. The European Union depends on nuclear for about 1/4 of its electricity and a higher proportion for baseload operation. And finally, all commercial nuclear power plants today use nuclear fission. Nuclear fusion is still in the research phase. So these are the basic characteristics of nuclear power technology. As we can see here in the map, the EU depends on nuclear power for about 1/4 of its electricity, as we mentioned before. Nuclear provides half the low carbon electricity. And in 2022, we observed that 13 EU countries had operational nuclear reactors. In terms of electricity globally generated by nuclear energy, France holds the top position with a share of 65% of electricity coming from nuclear, followed by Slovakia with 61%, Hungary with a share of 48%, and then Finland with a share of 42% in 2023. To July 2024, there is a total of 167 nuclear power reactors with an installed electric net capacity of 140 48,000 megawatt in operation in Europe. And there are still 10 units with an electric net capacity of 12 gigawatt, where these units actually are under construction in 5 countries. So these were some statistics regarding the operational nuclear units and the capacity that we observed in the European Union. Now, regarding the growth of nuclear in relation with hydro and solar power, we can see that solar power growth and a hydro and nuclear rebound dramatically reduced the European Union's coal and gas generation in 2024. In particular, hydro and nuclear generation increased by 10% and 5% respectively, reaching shares of 13% and 24% from regarding their 2022 laws, and pushing clean sources to a record of 71% of the EU power mix. So we can observe a very important rebound regarding not only the renewables, but also the nuclear energy in the total energy mix. And solar, of course, as we can see here, was the fastest growing EU power source in 2024, with a generation 22% higher than 2023. So it provided solar only 11% of EU electricity. So it's the type of renewables that we can distinguish with respect to the other renewables energy types. Regarding the possibilities and challenges, so now we will see a little bit what happens with nuclear, and especially what are the main advantages and disadvantages with this technology. So here we will focus on the main advantages. The first one is that nuclear is a carbon-free energy that produces electricity with a small carbon footprint compared to alternatives like fossil fuels. Natural gas and nuclear energy are included in the European Union's sustainable finance taxonomy. It is a long-term dispatchable energy solution that can help meet demand and enhance the stability of the energy system. It is also a considerable choice to combating climate change and reaching net zero CO2 emissions, if we take into consideration the characteristics that we mentioned before, of nuclear that we mentioned before in the previous slides. It is also an important option to ensure security of energy supply, given the high level of intermittent renewable share in the energy mix. Also, there is also a strict regulation of all waste from the nuclear power generation process. Fuel costs for nuclear plants are a minor proportion of total generating costs. And for this reason, actually, it's a cost-competitive technology with respect to other forms of electricity productions, having a low marginal cost, and also offers low price volatility. As we can see, for example, in September 2024, nuclear fuel cost was at 44 euros per megawatt hour versus coal fuel cost that the range of prices, it was between 75 and 96 euros per megawatt hour. So we can see the competitiveness of regarding the cost of nuclear in regards with other with fossil fuels. The main challenges regarding the production and use of nuclear. So constructing nuclear power plants is technologically challenging and complex, and there is a weak track record of keeping costs down and rebuilding new plants on time. We have the example of the PPR Flamanville plant that the time duration for constructing this plant was very significant. Nuclear plants actually are expensive to build, so they have very high investment costs. Despite their very low frequency, incidents associated with nuclear power can be extremely serious, as we have seen in the past. For example, the Fukushima accident, nuclear accident. Nuclear plants need to be in areas with low vulnerability to physical risks. Radioactive waste has a very long lifespan and can be difficult to store safely. Uranium mining can have a negative impact on the environment. Moreover, the long building process is considered a significant obstacle in the run to net zero emissions that countries around the world have committed to. And finally, societal challenges related to opposers of the energy source. We see nuclear energy as being deeply intertwined with nuclear weapon technologies. So we can see that the challenges are also important, and we have to take them into consideration before investing before proceed with an investment in nuclear. But we have also a great range of advantages. But as we can see, we focus on nuclear in general. Now we will focus on small modular nuclear reactors. Regarding small modular nuclear reactors, as the words say, their names say, they are small. So there are physically there is a fraction of the size of a conventional nuclear power reactor. They are modular, so it is possible for systems and components to be factory assembled and transported as a unit to a location for installation. And reactors, it means that the heat to produce energy is generated through nuclear fission. So we have to do with advanced nuclear reactors that have a power capacity of up to 300 megawatts per unit. And this is about 1/3 of the generate capacity of a traditional nuclear power reactor. These reactors have the following characteristics. They dispose advanced engineered features. They are deployable either as a single or multi-module plant. They are designed to be built in factories and shipped to utilities for installation as demand arises. And they aim to diverse outputs and applications such as electricity, hybrid energy systems, heating, water desalination, and steam for industrial applications. Nowadays, there are more than 80 commercial SMR in various development stages, and some are claimed as being near-term deployable. In 2024, we had 2 SMRs that were in operation, located in Russia and China, and some SMRs are under construction in other countries like Argentina, China, and Russia. And of course, there are several countries that are conducting SMR research and development in order to rapidly advance towards deployment, aiming for 2030 operation and focusing on diverse applications, as we saw before. The main advantages regarding the small modular reactors, their design, they are small and modular, so they can be seated on a wide range of locations in relation to large nuclear power plants. Moreover, they offer savings in costs, less upfront costs and construction time, and they can be deployed incrementally to match increasing energy demand. Moreover, in view of the low level of grid capacity which they occupy, SMRs can be installed into an existing grid of remotely off-grid in regions lacking sufficient lines of transmission and grid capacity. Their small size and passive safety features lend them to countries with smaller grids and less experience on nuclear power. Their size, construction, and efficiency passive safety systems actually can lead to easier financing compared to that for larger plants. We can achieve, of course, economies of scale, and the lower power lead to smaller radioactive inventory in a reactor. So it's we have a great range actually of advantages, and we have more advantages in this slide, and we can for example, speak about their ability to remove reactor module or inside the commissioning at the end of their lifetime. SMRs actually have lower fuel requirements since they may require refueling every 3 to 7 years in comparison to between 1 and 2 years for conventional plants. SMRs can be located underground or underwater, providing more protection from natural hazards. The modular design and smart size can actually facilitate implementation of higher quality standards, and they have the ability to provide flexible power generation for a wider range of users and applications and replacing aging fossil fuel-fired power plants. Actually, they dispose increased safety margins so they can eliminate or significantly lower the potential for unsafe releases of radioactivity for the environment and the public in case of an accident because of their simpler design and passive safety systems. Another characteristic is that we can repurpose fossil plants with SMRs, meaning accelerate the use of SMRs and at the same time shut down coal stations. So we can install SMRs on or near the site of retired coal-fired plants. In the US, for example, the coal to nuclear program is already underway, where old coal power plants are converted to nuclear power plants. What could be the future of such a technology in Europe? SMRs, as we saw, they can contribute significantly, to tackle climate change and national energy supply security. In order to do this, it is necessary to develop a common regulatory framework and standardized industrial approaches for design, manufacturing, construction, commissioning, and operation of SMRs to pave the way to greater harmonization. For this reason, there is the Nuclear Harmonization and Standardization Initiative that was established in 2022. And this initiative aims to facilitate the safe and secure deployment of SMRs to maximize their contribution to achieving the goals of 2030. Under this initiative, the goal is to bring together decision makers from governments, regulators, designers, technology holders, operators, policymakers, vendors, and other international organizations. And nowadays, we can, from the part of US, we have the Atlantic Partnership for Advanced Nuclear Energy, which is a major UK and US agreement that was announced in September 2025. And this Atlantic Partnership, the goal of this Atlantic Partnership is to fast-track deployment of advanced nuclear reactors through deep regulatory cooperation, aiming for faster approvals, shared research and development, and resilient supply chains. Moreover, they aim to leverage private investments to boost energy security and independence from Russia. Actually, we have some other agreements like the Amazon and Google signed agreement in order to deploy SMRs in the US to meet increasing energy needs of data centers. We have the US Department of Energy that announced that it will allocate up to $800 million to support dollars to support the development of SMRs. We also have the US and Saudi Arabia agreement. They signed actually a framework agreement on nuclear energy for civil use. And finally, we can see actually Japan that gives the green light to restart world's largest nuclear power plant. And by then, the end of October 2025, Japan had already restarted 11 reactors with a total capacity of 11 gigawatt. Finally, this is the final slide. From the European perspective, we have the European Industrial Alliance for the SMR. The aim of it is to strengthen the nuclear energy supply chain in Europe, leveraging its manufacturing innovation capabilities and enhancing cooperation and competitiveness of EU industry, and to contribute to strengthening the nuclear skills, enhancing public participation, securing fuel supplies, and exploring potential markets for SMRs, while ensuring actually the highest level of nuclear safety and unlocking investment potential. The General Assembly of the European Industrial Alliance for the SMRs took place in September of 2025 with the aim of approving the strategic action plan for the period to 2025-2029 and further improving the actions required to support 9 SMRs projects. Actually, the commissions in September launched an open consultation on development of a strategy on SMRs, and which is expected to be published in the first half of 2026 to accelerate the development and deployment of SMRs in Europe over the next decade. And finally, for the Greek economy, the 5 strategic sectors in which nuclear energy can play a significant role are the following: shipping, shipbuilding and industrial production, desalination and water resources, energy-intensive industry. So the Hellenic Atomic Energy Commission announced that preliminary work has begun on the formation of a regulatory framework regarding nuclear energy, and in particular for floating nuclear reactors. And finally, EU member states have proceeded with the formation of the Nuclear Alliance, which Greece is expected to join. So we can observe an activity regarding the introduction of nuclear energy technology in Greece, but it's still early to say more. Thank you for your attention.
Well, thank you very much, Maria. I think that in the process of energy transition, nuclear energy is something that one cannot avoid of further analyzing and assessing. I would put it with this, let's say, somehow cautious words, but you highlighted many important aspects of this of approaches adopted with regards to nuclear energy. Of course, highlighting also the problems and the challenges related to that. And I'm indeed looking forward that you also contribute in this common scientific publication, because a part of regarding a chapter regarding nuclear energy and its challenges is indeed something that is necessary in providing a more, let's say, accurate view on the challenges for the energy transition that lie ahead. Thank you very much, Maria. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.